Okay, we're gonna make biscuits. I've laid out everything we need. And first, we'll take 1 cup of flour. And then we're gonna put in a 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I'm using Clabber Girl. Any baking powder is okay. We're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to mix the dry ingredients together and make sure they're all mixed fairly well. And then comes the important part. The next part is to add either butter or Crisco. I'm using Crisco. You can use butter. I don't think it makes a big difference in the biscuits. Also, be generous with it. Don't skimp on the Crisco or the butter, because it's the fat content that gives you the better biscuits. And it won't matter if you have a little extra. Now, what I'm going to do is cut this up into small cubes, and then I'll work it into the flour mixture by hand. One of the things that the fat content does is make the biscuits soft. It also gives them keeping qualities. These biscuits you can put in a Ziploc bag and heat up the next day, and they're just as soft and tender as the day you made them. I'm just pressing it through my hands into the flour, and it'll say to do that until you feel it like small grains, but I don't know what that means. I just keep mixing it in until I know that it's completely mixed with the flour. It doesn't take long. This is the part you need to do quickly, because you don't want the butter or the Crisco to soften too much. You want it as cold as possible. It helps with the texture of the biscuits. And that's about all there is to it. If you look, you can see that that's pretty finely mixed in with the flour. And all I'm going to do is add our milk. Now, I'm cutting a normal recipe in half. It calls for 2/3 of a cup of milk. I say use a scant 1/2 cup. It's more than 1/3, but less than 1/2. And that should be about right. And I'll add it until I think I've got about the right amount. And you can either mix it by hand or and it makes a very soft dough. Part of that because of all the, now that's going to be enough liquid. I'm just able to get it free from the sides of the bowl, and that's going to make a good dough. So, now I'm getting ready to pat it out. very soft dough, but still workable. Now, your Aunt June and a lot of other people will tell you not to work the dough very much. It's okay to work the dough. You want it to come together smoothly, and if you work it and layer it a little bit, you'll actually have a better biscuit. Working the dough doesn't make it tough. It's the amount of grease in it or butter in it that keeps it from being tough. So I'm getting it together. And this looks like a good thickness, maybe a 1/2 inch or so. And then we're going to cut the biscuits. Now, because I made a small amount, we're not going to have a lot of biscuits. We'll probably get about 6 out of this instead of a dozen or 10 or so that we would get with a full recipe. And I'm just gonna put this together. If you have a sharp edge on your cutter, it makes a better biscuit. If you make them by hand, they won't rise as much and they won't look as good. So what I'll do is put the dough together and cut it, and the rest of that dough's waste. And that's it. All there is to it now is to place them in a pan. Most people will say sides touching. It makes them rise higher. And we're going to bake that at 425 degrees for about 12-13 minutes.